what's up, everybody? This is Cam, aka the Honky Tonk Hair Machine for the Rugged Revival. Who am I with today?
Andy Thomas, what's up, y'all?
Thanks for joining me, brother. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
So, I always like to open our conversation with this question because I think it gives us a little peek behind the curtain. You can answer as in depth or as little as you want. But if you
Sure.
don't mind, tell us, where are you from originally and what was life like for you as a kid?
So I grew up in Goochland County, Virginia, um, just outside of Richmond, about 45 minutes west. And shoot, life as a kid was guitar, dirt bikes, woods, and maybe a little skateboarding here and there. But for the most part, for me at least, every day after school, I was either playing guitar or riding my dirt bike, either just at my house or meeting up with buddies to do the same thing at their house.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I remember days like that, dude. That was a magical time, man. I was telling my oldest recently, seventh and eighth grade, I got my first Fender red Fender Stratocaster, and I
nice.
would I would like play so much. I would wake up and have it on my lap and be like,
Oh
kind of like
yeah,
freak out, like what happened?
yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, just grow. I started playing guitar at 10, so I mean, just from then on, anything I could get my hands on to learn
Yeah.
was, I was digging in and diving deep. And anytime I find something new, I'd like go to school and think about it all day.
Yep.
I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, I can't wait to get home and go figure that out.
Yeah, man. I grew up on Fort Belvoir out here in Northern Virginia, and I remember we would take all of our practice amps, start at my house. My
Yeah.
parents would get tired of hearing it. Then we go down to the bass players. They'd get tired. We go on over to the drummer's house. And luckily, the drummer's parents had a high tolerance, so we could hang out there for hours. But yeah, kind of what you're saying, just doing the circuit, skateboards and guitars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a magical time, man. That was cool. So
Totally.
you mentioned you started. Did you say you were about 10 when you started playing
I
guitar?
was about 10. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was your first guitar?
My first guitar was a Yamaha style Strat. It was black, white pick guard. Um, got it used from the music store with some some money I scraped up as from like birthdays and Christmas and whatnot.
That's the way to do it. You earned it.
Yeah, but actually I got into it when I was in third grade, about 8. My dad played, and I showed interest there, and that's when I really wanted one, and that's actually when I bought that Yamaha, and then um, I realized really, really quickly I was not good. I was like, I can't do anything, and I. It didn't take long for me to get really discouraged, and I just threw that thing in my closet until about 10. It was like we are getting to the end of like fifth grade, um, and I, for whatever reason, just decided. I guess it was maybe just stuff I was listening to then, or my dad was playing more. I just got back into it, and I pulled it out, and I just like I didn't put it down. Like I haven't put it,
Yeah. I
down
think that's
since.
a very familiar story. Like I remember doing the same, and a lot of folks say the same thing. They're like listening to like Joe Satriani, and then they get upset. They're like, "Why can't I play like Steve Vai?" And then they put
Yeah,
the guitar away for however long, and then they hear something, and they're like, "Oh, it clicks again. Like I need to get the
yeah,
rest in, and I can do this."
yeah. It was like riffs to like Clapton tunes and Skinner tunes that I was like, I can do that.
Yeah,
And I started like figuring that stuff out, and I
that's
was like,
fantastic.
yeah, and I got so into it. I was just obviously I hadn't put it down. Here I am.
Hey, yeah, if 10-year-old you could see you now, you'd be like, "Whoa, this is a whole different story."
Dude, a dentist or something.
So you started playing pretty early. When did you start hitting the stages?
um, I think I got like my first gig when I was maybe like 17.
Hmm.
So, um, but like shortly after picking up the guitar, my brother picked up drums. My dad switched from guitar to bass, and we just started like playing. We were like playing, and all the time at the house. But then we started playing like friends, garage parties and backyard parties and cul-de-sac parties, and then um, of course, I played like every fucking talent show. Every like 3 times, like with 3 different acts, every year.
That's really cool, man. I like that story quite a bit. So your dad switched over to bass, brother on drums, you on
Yeah.
guitar. Were you also
Okay.
doing vocals then as well?
Um, if I didn't start on vocals, in like middle school and stuff, I had a band with like buddies at school, and we always had like a singer. Um, and then it wasn't until I started hanging out with my metal buddies that were smoking weed that got me into Metallica and Pantera and all that stuff. I was like maybe 16, 10th grade.
Mhm.
Um, I was playing with those buddies and nobody could sing. And I was like, so into like Metallica and like James Hetfield. And I was like, well, I mean, none of these guys can sing. So I started like giving it a try and like really started singing like more that style, um like a heavier way. And I was like, I thought it sounded pretty good. I mean, I definitely sounded better than those guys. So I was like, well, let me take this back to the family band and see if I can apply this to like, the Allman Brothers and stuff. So that's when that really started taking off and started, singing with the family band. And then my dad started taking us out to like, bars while we were like basically in high school still, just playing like open mics, then to like actually like bar sets. And we were like just playing any, any shithole in town that we could.
Dude.
Um,
Well,
which
it's
is
also interesting. Like when you start off as
us.
a vocalist, it's quite intimidating, right? It's like I think when you're a singer, you start to almost replicate what you know or what you like, you know. So when you start singing like oh, this is how James Hetfield sounds. It's got that gruff
Yeah,
sound, you know. And
yeah,
then when you find your own voice and bring
yeah.
that
It
into
was.
like,
It was. I was about like 17 when I was like, "All right, I'm a singer too." I'm like, "I'm going to do this." Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
down
that's
this
super cool.
this road as well. So yeah, I got myself like a singing lesson. I was like, just send me off on the right path.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a great idea. Do you work with a vocal coach now?
I don't. I should though.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
even thought about that for myself. I have a hardcore band I play in, and even that, just learning the vocal strength and knowing
yeah,
when
this
you,
this strength and just like taking care of everything. Because
yeah,
I lose my voice pretty easily, or at least like my range pretty easily if I don't
mm,
like take care of it or like over sing or
mhm.
not warm up or stay hydrated. Um, so yeah, that's it's definitely important, and yeah, there's no reason why I shouldn't. Um, I mean, the best out there have multiple vocal coaches.
Well, even James Hetfield, you know, bring it all full circle. Even James has his coach. Oh, we have a special
Oh yeah,
guest back there. Come bring him on in.
no more Cheetos. I'll come. I'll go get you some Cheetos. One sec.
How you
I'm on,
doing, man?
I'm on Cheeto duty.
Yeah, you go get your Cheetos.
Come on, buddy.
That brings me to my next question, actually.
Yep.
Um, with the vocals and the guitar playing. So you've got three things going on when you're playing live, right? You're
Yep.
singing, you're playing guitar, and you're trying to be entertaining.
Yep.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you face trying to make sure all three of those are doing what they need to do?
Sure. Let's start with like being married to the mic when you're a singer
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
guitar player because you're married to the mic stand.
Uh-huh.
So when you're singing, movement becomes, there's not as much movement.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a challenge in the entertainment part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then um, playing guitar and singing at the same time. I would say, I'm a lead guitar player, so like, um, being a rhythm guitar, I'm having to sing too. Um, it's like, all right, I'm a rhythm player, and then I'll take a solo, rhythm, solo, rhythm. Whereas like, you know, I love playing slide. I play a lot of slide.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's tough to do while singing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so like when you're fronting a band and playing guitar and singing, it's like I'm like kind of in this chunking world, playing lead between rhythm stuff, and then like taking a solo when I'm not
Mm-hmm.
singing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah, that like doing all that kind of like dictates how you play and like what you can do. I feel like.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like because you have the guitar player part of you that wants to, walk up to the monitors, maybe solo and the front rows faces a little
Yeah.
bit. But then if there's a vocal part, like you, that's interesting what you say. Like, yeah, you're kind of married, anchored to the mic stand, unless you've got, like the old Garth Brooks headset.
Garth Brooks. Yeah.
You got to bring that back. Andy Thomas needs a signature Garth Brooks microphone headset
Oh
there. Yeah, that's really challenging. And for me growing up, I remember, I had a house that played punk and country and metal.
yeah.
And what you're saying with like James Hetfield, he did a good job of having that center stage presence. He's such a big presence. He didn't have to do like a ton of running around.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but then you also have like
Yeah, he's big on like, I mean, obviously what he was singing, but like all his ad libs were always perfect and like
yeah.
facial expressions and like
Uh-huh.
intensity. So
And
like,
I don't know if you're familiar with Rancid, but like, Tim Armstrong from Rancid, he's throwing himself all over the stage. That's a high energy punk rock ska show. So, but
yeah,
he's singing, but I guess that vocal delivery is more of like a shout sing versus, you're actually hitting harmonies and such. And, and then he's throwing himself all over the stage. So that he's not so married to the mic stand in that case. So you touched on some earlier influences. We've covered the basses, you got Metallica, Skinner. Who would you say your biggest influences today, both country and non? Who inspire you the most today?
um, I guess in the country world, I mean, when I really started getting into country and stuff, some of my favorites have always been like Haggard, Waylon, Willie, David Allen Coe, um, Charlie Daniels. Um, um, but I love like Sturgill Simpson. I've been listening to this new Sturgill dance record since yesterday, since he leaked that. Um, so like relevant artists today love like Tyler Childers, Sturgill, like that whole world. I'd say there. That Meta Modern record that Sturgill did like 10 years ago. That was a big like kind of like life changing influencer record.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Sturgill's on top of his game quite a bit. Let me ask you this. Do you think that this was the real album, or you think this was like a secret album that he put out just to kind of keep us satiated before the real album drops?
oh man, I didn't think about that. I think it's the real record.
Okay. Yeah. He was just
You
excited to
think
get it out
different? You
there.
think differently?
You know what, man? I think that would be a genius marketing move if he happened to record basically like a double LP, and he's like, I'm going to put this out as like a little teaser, and then I think the full album comes out at what, the end of the month or something, and then drop something
Yeah, I
completely
think
different.
shit, that would be wild.
Yeah, man, I think
Very,
that'd be
very
pretty
well,
cool.
very well could be. He's known to have some shit up his sleeve. But But yeah, I would say that those are some big country influences. Of course, I grew up also, like in the high school days, like on all like the '90s, 2000s country.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so that as far as like songs um and stuff, like that whole catalog was definitely a big part of my life as well.
Yeah.
But
See, that's what I remember too. And then it wasn't until recently when I started becoming aware of, what was going on in the new wave of country artists, the guys that you and I know, like American Aquarium, Rob Linus, things like
oh
that.
yeah, love
Yeah.
them Silverado dudes,
Yes,
Mighty
absolutely.
Morgan.
Yep.
Um,
That whole
yeah,
camp. And
they
like, so when I'm picturing country, from as a kid point of view, I'm picturing Garth Brooks, all the early
totally.
2000s stuff. So I know you've done a lot of touring, but where would you like to tour that you haven't been to so far?
Um, Probably somewhere cool like Australia or Brazil
Yeah,
would
yeah,
probably be pretty bad.
yeah, yeah. I can see you doing
Like,
well with like like that's like a guitar heavy audience. I can see you doing really
yeah,
well in those parts of the world.
yeah. I've done a lot of Europe and of course done a lot of US. So I think both of those spots would be sick.
Yeah.
It's
So
coming. It's coming.
yeah, I was gonna say you've got some stuff coming down the line. Um, so of course, with me being by trade barber, hairstylist in the fashion industry, I'm drawn when I first see an artist, I'm drawn to their look first. And you have a great look. What's some of your favorite on stage attire? Boots, jeans, hats. What's your go-to look?
Love some boots. Um, Always in boots. Got my Cowtown boots or my Tacoma boots. Those are my
Nice.
go-tos. Love me some jeans. Love me some Levi's. Um, Love me a hat. I got a couple hats. I think my favorite hat is my Wild Hats hat.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
the uh, Lexington or Louisville, Kentucky boys.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Love that hat. And then if the weather tends for it, usually something with no sleeves. I'm not a big sleeves fan. Usually cut all the sleeves off my t-shirts. So like yeah, that or vest, but I like a good jean jacket or some kind of cool jacket to go with it. But most of the time, no sleeves.
Nice. Perfect. And also, I think everybody would agree you have awesome hair. What do you use to keep that mane in order?
So so my lady is also in the hair world, and she works for this incredible brand. Shout out to Euphora. They're out of San Diego. Um, all natural, amazing, amazing hairline. But they actually have a curl line that I use. I use the whole damn thing, everything from the shampoo, conditioner to the leave-in
Nice.
to the spray to the hold. It's incredible. It changed my life. My head was a rat's nest before Dana and I met. It'd be like dreads and frizzy and
Uh-huh.
uh yeah, she really turned me around in a lot of ways, but definitely the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife has big curly hair and we've been together for about 10 years now. And when she was a client of mine a few years before that, it's a whole
Yeah.
other story for you. But when we became a couple, I really took my curly hair game serious. So when I see folks with great curly hair, I'm immediately like, hey, tell me what's your arsenal? What are you using to keep that thing in order? So I have to check that
Yeah.
line out. I think I followed her on Instagram, so I have to
Yeah,
see what they
check
got
them
going
out.
on.
U4, they're incredible. They got all different lines, but the curl one is like I live by it
Yeah, yeah.
now.
Okay, that's great, man. I'll definitely check that out. So, all right, like I said, we keep this stuff pretty short and sweet. I don't want to eat up too much of your evening. I know you got the kids waiting on you.
Yeah.
Um, Real quick, where can we find you on the socials? And do you have anything you want to shout out before we go?
Certainly. Instagram is the Andy Thomas. Facebook is Andy Thomas. Spotify, Andy Thomas, TikTok too, the Andy Thomas. Website is andythomasmusic.com. You can find everything there. And I got a brand new album coming out March 27th, um, produced by Dave Schools, Honky Talk and Roll, 12 songs. The vinyl pre-order is going now, and it is out on Friday the 27th.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
I got a big album release show in Richmond, Virginia on April 3rd. Friday, April 3rd. My buddy Sam Moreau is going to open, and my buddy Corbin Cowboy is going to host the whole evening. So it'll be a good time.
Nice. All right. That sounds fantastic, man. Well,
And yeah, just look out for more Highway Junkies, the name of the record, more Highway Junkie tour dates this year.
all right. Yeah, I'm just writing all that down. Very cool. Well, all right, man. Look, we'll end the call, but just hang on the line for me one hot second. And like I said, thank you so much for your time.
Dude, thank you so much.
All
Appreciate
right,
it, brother.
brother.